Ladies and gentlemen, our second ever pay-per-view, WWE presents Extreme Rules 2013, the one and the only time where WWE goes fully extreme. We got a lot of great matches for you. The card posted in the description. And if not, in case you come from other places, it's also been around. But let's just jump right in the action here. We have action-packed 3 hours. In a pre-show match for the card, we have Christian, Zack Ryder, and Sheamus taking on Daniel Bryan, Kane, and Mark Henry. Zack Ryder picks up the win for the face team when he hits Daniel Bryan with the Zack attack. Kane was the weak link in the match, but for overall, really good performances by everybody. Zack Ryder getting a 90, and this is on a pre-show. Kane was the only one holding this match back too much with the 75. And also it's a pre-show match. It's not going to get too high of a rating. And we start the show off with a segment in which we have the intro music video, Live It Up by Airborne plays. That's the theme song. Real life and just hyping up some of the various feuds. AJ Lee, Natalya, Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, Ryback, Goldust, Kofi Kingston, CM Punk. And the first opening match is actually going to be Ryback and Goldust squaring off for the Intercontinental title. And we'll have to see how that goes down. And in a decent match in 83, I kind of expected less from it, so I'm genuinely surprised. Ryback defeats Goldust when Goldust couldn't answer the count of 10 after a suplex power slam. Probably somewhere awesome, like, I don't know, maybe like off the ramp. Yeah, probably off the ramp, heralding back to his first attack. And Ryback, the big guy, is your new WWE Intercontinental Champion. So, say about that what you will. I figured, I'm not a big Ryback guy, but I figured giving him the Intercontinental title would produce some decent matches. He is an upper mid-card guy, and plus, he put some decent performances out. So there is that. We have our next segment up. We have Kevin Nash and Rey Mysterio. They're walking down the hallways. They're strategizing for their match against Del Rio and Jack Swagger, while also talking about old WCW memories. Kevin Nash is like, man, WCW had some cool times, man. Some great moments. And then Rey Mysterio's like, yeah, like that time you threw me head first into a fucking TV truck in Disneyland. And Kevin's like, yeah, I did do that. And then he's like, yeah, or at the time you took my mask. And Kevin's like, yeah, I did do that. And then, as they're walking, they see Zack Ryder come up, and Zack's recording for Z, True Long Island Story. Kevin remarks that while Ryder is a little goofy, he's at least more over than Del Rio and Swagger. So, just a little gimmick, little funny segment, I thought, for the show. And their next match is actually up next, as said. And the main takeaway from this match is that the whole time Kevin Nash starts the match out, he insists on starting the match out. But Jack and Del Rio just beat the living piss out of him. They beat him so bad. It gets uncomfortable because he's an older guy and he shouldn't be really in the ring if you ask a lot of people. But eventually he makes the hot tag to Ray. That's the whole storyline. He couldn't get the hot tag in. Ray starts going nuts. And eventually he does get the win in a match that really got better rating than it deserved. Kevin Nash defeats Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio when Rey Mysterio, his partner, hits the 619 frog splash onto Jack Swagger. Really great match, actually. I was expecting a lot worse, but, thanks to Del Rio for carrying the match, as well as Ray. Kevin Nash did alright, and Jack Swagger did alright, kind of too, I guess. But a victory, maybe a Pythric one at that, because Kevin Nash looks hurt, he looks injured, and we'll have to develop on this storyline. It's not ending anytime soon. And we have a match for the Divas title. AJ Lee she kind of dropped the ball, but, I think it might have been storyline heat too, or just not a decent, good enough match. AJ Lee's kind of a, the AJ Lee is I took the title off Madison Lane to build up AJ Lee, so this is what I expected. But, still a good match when AJ defeats Natalya in a tables match. When she puts Natalya through the table. AJ Lee makes defense number 2 of her WWE Divas title. Pretty good match there from the Divas. Always trying to get the Divas over. And AJ Lee keeps her Divas title she won at WrestleMania against a woman who had seemed like on a quest to get it. And then we have, wow, this is really good. We have The Miz taking on Randy Orton in his grudge match. And Randy Orton gets the pin on The Miz in 19 minutes with an RKO for a 98 A-star match. You know, The Miz and Randy, you know, it all started when Randy jumps at The Miz. If you didn't watch the Raw episodes, I highly recommend you do. He jumped The Miz, RKO'd him into a fucking cake. The Miz, known to cost Randy in a couple of matches that could have raised the stakes, but Randy seems to have raised the stake by defeating one of Raw's top dogs, so we'll have to see how that goes, you know, and I don't think this feud is too far from over as of yet. We have Mr. McMahon meeting with, he enters the building, and he meets with Shawn and Stone Cold. They greet him. And you could tell by the conversation it's about John Cena. John Cena's actions, as of late, have really put WWE on the map. For good for wrestling fans, but the mainstream media is currently going ham at WWE. He literally almost, pretty much, we don't know for sure. He's still in the hospital, apparently. He pretty much murdered The Rock at WrestleMania. Like, he actually tried to kill The Rock. And John Cena has just been on a tear, beating anything that's in his way. And Mr. McMahon kind of seems angry at Shawn for giving him this title match, but Shawn says he believes in Dolph Ziggler and that he believes he will defend the World Heavyweight Championship. And they're not supposed to be on screen, but we do get a little notification saying the tag titles are going to be on the line in our next segment. It's going to be the Motor City Machines, WWE's newest tag team, just debuting shortly before WrestleMania versus InZayn, the plucky two Canadians who have held their gold on for a pretty good amount of time. They beat the Kings of Wrestling, who had a massive title reign with the tag team titles for over 8 months. So we'll have to see how that goes, really. And we'll see the result here. And in an 87B+, well, you know, that's kind of, you know, they can't all be good. And there's lack of psychology. Those damn indie marks. And about they had great wrestling, though, and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Motor City Machines, they defeat InZayn, and Sabin hits a Made in Detroit on Kevin Steen. The Motor City Machines win the WWE World Tag Team Champions. More new tag teams. We have new champions again. First, it was the Intercontinental title, and then it was the... excuse me for that. And then it was the... you know, the tag team titles and the Intercontinental titles. I can't believe it took me that long to say that. You can tell I'm really worked up here. I'm high. I probably drank some coffee or something. I don't drink coffee. I don't even know why I said that. But, you know, great match between the two. But we got new tag team champions, so I'll have to see how the Motor City Machines, if they can even handle having a tag team run. You know, these damn indie marks with their flips and shit. And then we have, that's supposed to be Jericho. It's supposed to be Jericho. So, I mean, Chris Hero could be there too. Why the fuck not? Randy Orton is backstage talking to a camera, and he says that his victory over The Miz proves he is, in fact, Raw's #1 superstar. And speaking of #1, he should be the new #1 contender for the WWE Championship. Jericho walk in, and I guess Chris Hero is in the background. He's like, "Hi, I'm Chris Hero. I'm Cassius Ohno." Like, the production truck, like, Kevin, what's it called? I can't think of his name now. I was about to make fun of the Bucky Beaver Teeth dude. But, you know, all the production people are like, what the hell is Cassius Ohno doing in the background? So Jericho, Big Show walk in, saying that Orton should have stayed on SmackDown. Because Show and Jericho are clearly next in line for the WWE title. And the two sides have a stare down while Chris Hero tries to get the damn vending machine to work. Because, you know, get it because he's big. God damn it. I'm actually mad I fucked that up. Oh well. Still got 100 A rating. I believe I rated Jericho, so that means Chris Hero can cut one mean promo. So I guess that's good. That's hella good. And next up, we have an interesting matchup. We have Bray Wyatt and Roddy Piper for the United States. Roddy Piper makes his entrance on the Video Titan screen. You know, Roddy Piper's been wrestling on the Independents, actually. I believe he even had a match in Ring of Honor at one point. and we get a chronicle of his entire career up to this point, where he's making a stand against Bray Wyatt. He comes out, he's got some, maybe it's kind of like Drew McIntyre in NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. There's bagpipes being played. Roddy Piper marches to the ring. He's smiling to the crowd, but he's still got that same look of determination. And Bray Wyatt does his usual entrance. The firefly is lit, the U.S. title around his waist, a lantern just slightly in front of him as the lights are dimmed. Can Bray Wyatt really beat Roddy Piper? Roddy Piper is a legend. He's old, yes, but he just might be crazy, if not crazier, than Bray Wyatt is. But we'll have to see if he can really beat him, and we're going to cut to that now. We'll see how the match does. Sorry I had to cut there. In a decent match, we have the match results, and it did way better than I thought it would. Roddy Piper tried. He tried his hardest, but he's no match for the younger, stronger, more athletic even Bray Wyatt, who plants him after he does it multiple times. Maybe after the third Sister Abigail closes the book on Roddy Piper's dream of becoming a champion in WWE again, and he makes defense number 9 of his WWE United States title. It's sad, really. Roddy Piper had a chance. He tried, but Bray Wyatt just brutalized Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper is not even moving by the time the match is over, and Bray Wyatt stands over him, a grin on his face. He's still your United States champion. Yeah, fuck off, fucking Brooklyn Brawler. We have a hype package. CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, a street fight for the WWE title. CM Punk had the longest reign of the series at that point. He had ultimately been, the best form of his career. He main evented WrestleMania, something he had wanted to do, and in real life he never got to do. That's why he left. And then CM Punk kind of stole that from under him. In the real main event, Kofi Kingston cashed in Money in the Bank pretty thoroughly. It wasn't like a sneak attack and then cash in. He challenged Punk. Punk accepted. He cashed in. He just hit him immediately with the Trouble in Paradise and won the title. But can CM Punk win the title back? Can CM Punk get another title reign, and will it last another year? And that answer is going to be a big fat no, Chief. In an unbelievable match, Kofi Kingston again, 97. Jesus, dude. Kofi Kingston, he beat CM Punk with the Trouble in Paradise in a street fight. Kofi Kingston makes his first defense of his WWE title. What a match, 99 A-star. I was expecting maybe like 95-ish, but 99 is good, and I'm glad I put the title on Kofi. Much of the earlier days of the save, before I started recording for YouTube, were about building up Kofi, so I'm glad to see that it has indeed succeeded. And now, thankfully, we have a pretty good champion. But CM Punk, you gotta wonder what's going through his head after being knocked out in a brutal match with the Trouble in Paradise. And we have probably tonight's event, probably one of the biggest main events since WrestleMania just a month ago. John Cena, his new theme song hit. He's got that intense look on his face, the hoodie, everything's in check. John Cena makes his way to the ring for his match with Dolph Ziggler. And this match is a brutal affair. Dolph Ziggler has scouted John. That's the main goal. For all the talk that John has made about Dolph has scouted John to the T. John goes for an attitude adjustment, it gets countered into a zigzag. He tries to go for the STF. Dolph always seems to be near the ropes when he tries it. He goes for the 5-knuckle shuffle, which he does not do the you can't see me. He just goes straight for a fist drop. Immediately rolls out, allows Dolph to get some elbow drops in on a downed Cena after he's grabbing at his damaged fist. But he's not good enough. It's not good enough. John Cena, I did not expect to get 100. And Dolph Ziggler, a distracted thigh muscle, so he's apparently injured. He was injured and he still won the damn And no wonder he's injured, because John just murders poor Dolph near the end. It eventually gets to the point where John is just frustrated. Clothesline. You know how Ziggler sells. And John Cena is just going ape shit when he just picks up Dolph. Attitude adjustment. Rolls right through. Attitude adjustment. Rolls through again. One more attitude adjustment. 3, you're not getting up from that. John Cena gets the 1, 2, 3, and he wins the WWE World Heavyweight title in our main event of the show. What's it called? Significant match, I'll have to see. And John Cena just starts beating up Dolph. Not for Dolph, because he noticed, he wants the higher-ups to know. And we do see a screen of the backstage. The backstage is in chaos. Triple H and Stephanie are in shock. Shawn Michaels is just suppressed. And Mr. McMahon is furious that this is what it's come to. John Cena brutalizing Dolph as we go to air. Another case of John ruining a pay-per-view by beating someone to near death. And now it's worse, because you can't even just fire John. John's your World Heavyweight Champion. What are you going to do about it? Let's see what our final show result is. 98A. Really proud of that. 98A. Probably like the second best pay-per-view besides WrestleMania. So I'm glad to see that can go on. We're going to make some speeches. We're going to tell Dolph. We're going to say Dolph. We'll give AJ some encouragement, I think. And God, there's so many good performances. Let's do, Sammy. Sammy was a little mad he had to lose the tag titles. So I'll give him a hug. Dolph gets a hug, and then, complimented on a good performance by AJ. Everyone is pleased. And before I click away, I'd love to say thanks everybody for watching. It was a great show, and I'll see you guys for the aftermath on Monday Night Raw.